Hello.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Manga Lookout. I'm your host, Sky. It's my co-host, Kizer here, and today we'll be reacting to and reading Dragon Ball Kakumei Chapter 25. And if I'm correct, I think we only have 4 chapters left until we're up to date. So we're excited, chat's excited, and most importantly, it's time to see some hands being thrown because last chapter was crazy, absolutely insane. Last chapter was back to reality. If you guys didn't check it out last Thursday, make sure to check out that VOD. Give us a nice like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe. I think if you're chatting, you're probably subscribed. I think that's how it works. But yeah, we had
Nah.
Slaga. No. Oh,
No, I
okay. So there
changed
you go.
it because that was getting annoying and we're
Cool.
not we can't ask that at this point in our careers.
No, for sure, for sure. I just thought that's how it
Yeah.
worked. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, last chapter we had the confirmation of Salaga losing. Basically, we didn't expect that actually. We thought he was gonna come back, but
Yeah.
then we also had this little parallel with King Sadala and Broly with fighting their demons. And for Sadala, it was the matter of the fact that you know before when he was a Super Saiyan, he killed many people and he was not proud of it. And for Broly, it was having that kind of like almost alter ego, I guess you could say, with his berserk side and of snapping and not knowing what's kind of happening. And Kale was kind of that like realization for Broly. And we had like that great scene where it was just like there's no drawings other than Broly and Kale, and there's like like almost like a water, like a small like pond of water, which is great. That was good. Last chapter was
Yeah.
fantastic. I'm just checking right now, chat, because I'm trying to see what was the last thing we ended on. And
Quack.
if I remember correctly, we landed on let's see. We landed on let's see. I think Sadala slapping up Dula. That makes yeah. Um there's a lot of stuff that happened though. There it is. Perfect. Yeah, we had Broly actually um come back and started to fight Dula again. So now we're getting the Dula and Broly, I think, rematch that we
Okay.
got in the beginning of this like side. Not really. It's still like the main arc because we're getting that training arc. These guys came in, they invaded Planet Sadala, Universe 13, I believe they are 13, I believe. Amaron and all them
Mhm.
are. And yeah, we're getting a Super Saiyan. Don't now. Someone correct me in the chat. Is it Super Saiyan or is it Legendary Super Saiyan Broly controlled? That's But anyways, regardless, he is now in his controlled form and he's about to fight Dula. So we're about to get the ones. I'm hoping Broly beats the fuck out of Dula.
Here we go. Here's that last page here. I have it on screen.
It's like he
Yeah,
grabbing
that's
his
Super
arm,
Saiyan.
right?
Yeah. Like he's in
Yeah,
control here.
sick.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, that was a great chapter. We loved it. Let's just quickly. We have Skylancis in chat. Welcome, Skylancis. You're the first person in chat. Lil Trey, Sabini, Minty. Welcome into chat. First time chatter. Lil Trey, welcome in. Eddie, welcome in.
Woo
I said
woo.
Lil Trey twice, by the way.
That's
Gerald,
chill. He
welcome in.
deserves it.
And Dragon Ball Fan Podcast, welcome in. Welcome to the chat. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes we need some self love, right? So show us the Dragon Ball Fan Podcast
Okay,
and
listen. You want to talk about your self love? That's between you and your bathroom after hours. I don't need to know. Okay.
always enough time for self love. Okay, always enough
No, for sure. Actually, self love.
time. But yeah, we are. Also, quickly, just want to say happy July 4th to our American viewers, real quick.
Yeah,
Don't
Merga.
get too drunk because tomorrow is a big game in the
Yeah,
Euro.
you're not anybody to be giving that advice right now. To everybody, Sky has had a few brewskis before the show today. I may have had my own substance, so we're in for, I think, a heck of a show. Grab a drink, grab a whatever you want, and let's have a heck of a show, right, Josh?
Yeah, we're gonna have a great show here. And And yeah, the chapter 25. I mean, I remember we were talking a little bit about the cover, and we saw Piccolo looked fantastic. The Universe
Yes.
6 Namekians also looked fantastic. I know we're not really getting them this chapter. We're getting like that same thing that we got 2 chapters ago with Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha, where we got like a cover quote unquote story where it was a little bit of like a synopsis almost of like what's kind of happening with them right now while we're still on like the Vegeta kind of like plot going on right now with Amaron,
Yeah.
Dula, Salaga. So yeah, so before we start the chapter, just quickly, we do see here it says on the bottom left, it says on Earth, training intensifies as Dende's sanctuary. The latter shares the history of his people and their special characteristics with the Namekians of Universe 6.
Hmm.
Are they here because Piccolo's plans to show them the hyperbolic time chamber, which is very interesting because Mike or Kizer pointed out last week that Piccolo was training with one of the Namekians, and the other Namekian was with Pan, looking like he was getting some sort of info from Dende. So it's really interesting on how they're prioritizing these fighters on what they're doing and stuff. So I really found that intriguing
Yeah.
because I wonder if the other Namekian is also going to do that, and Piccolo's kind of just getting a little bit of a feel for one at a time, kind of thing. Um,
Like, this is the first time in a long time that Piccolo's been able to train with Namekians.
yeah. Oh, definitely, definitely.
And like for to train with Namekians that can actually like keep up with him, because even back to Namek Saga, like Piccolo would clean any one of the Namekians. Like
Yeah.
and they could all fuse together, and then maybe it'd be a close fight. But he was very strong at that point. So to be facing off, be able to train with Namekians, almost like Saiyans when they train together. You know, it's uh, and also like to see them, like you were saying, Sky, like tying in the culture. You know, what is this universe's Namekian story? You know, and then like having them potentially like link to that and making them stronger. You know,
Mhm.
making them more invigorated, inspired to go out and whoop some ass in the name of Namekians.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah, the cover art's pretty sick. I'm kind of like scrolling through it here. I love this like mouth shot, and we talked about this as well at the end of the last one. But like, I am so stoked whenever it is, to get these guys on fighting, kicking ass for an extended period of time. Not just these little tastes, but I want to see these guys when the tournament, or not the tournament, when shit goes down and it's a universal war. I can't wait to see what the Namekians are going to be left to do, and
True.
what kind of impact are they going to have.
It's what I find really intriguing about this cover too is that I know that Kakumei likes to exaggerate in a good way, by the way. The muscle mass of the fighters, the Z fighters and stuff. But
Yeah.
Piccolo genuinely looks like he's gained like triple biceps on each arm here, and I'm wondering if this is like a midpoint before we get Orange Piccolo, because I feel like we will get that because it has been animated. So I feel like that's something that might happen, maybe. I don't know. But like at least something at least close to Orange
No,
Piccolo.
but everything after Tournament of Power, remember, isn't canon in this. They're not going to use it. So
Yeah.
like, look, they're gonna give him an evolution, and whether or not they pull from that, we'll see. But I agree with you, because here's the thing, like you said, you know, sometimes they have um, this tendency to inflate the muscle mass a little bit on these characters,
Yeah.
but here's the thing, it's the artistic storytelling. They are
Exactly.
trying to tell you something in that image, right? And
Yeah.
how they've
It's like just
drawn
talk to
it.
chat real quick. I'm just gonna BRB real quick. I think Red
Yo,
Ribbon Rocky
100%.
needs to do something real quick.
Oh, good. Oh, good. So, I mean, really, what they're telling us here is, yeah. I mean, not just Piccolo, but the other Namekian here as well. This guy, I mean, yeah. He's got some pectorals. You know what I mean? Let's judge his pectorals. What do you guys think? I'm saying maybe a 6 out of 10. But if we're looking over here, I mean, Piccolo's and this guy's pectorals, easily 11 out of 10 here. Sky, am I right? Just say yes.
Yes,
All
we're
right.
good. Yeah, there's a little bit
Beautiful.
of a false alarm. We're good.
Okay,
Now,
perfect.
usually false alarms means you almost shit your pants, but you didn't. But Red Ribbon Rocky is good to go. He's
All
good.
been there.
Yeah. Well, I've not, but yeah.
Okay, we're not gonna delay the show anymore. That's fine.
All right, guys. So, Dragon Ball Kakumei, Chapter 25. Here we go. Here, I'm excited. Kaiser's excited.
Woo!
Chat's excited. So let's go. All right, first page. Let's go. So we have Dooley here in a bit of shock because obviously Broly grabs his hand. I'm assuming he wasn't fully expecting it. And on the bottom right panel, it actually looks like Broly snapped his arm off. No, actually, what happened here is Dula cut his own arm off on the bottom right panel so that
Oh.
Broly couldn't get a hold of it anymore. And then you get on the bottom left panel, you get a Dula shot there. Next page, he says, he doesn't look mad anymore. And then right behind him, Sadala. And Broly goes right to Sadala. Sadala's obviously crying if you don't remember from last chapter. He felt
He's
responsible.
still crying?
Yeah. He's not feeling good about himself here. Next page.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for everything. And it looks like you get Broly getting he's chopping Sadala, almost like knocking him out, kind of what like Vegeta did to Trunks and Goten before his sacrifice. Bottom here you get, I don't know who those people are. I think they're just Saiyan warriors. And then you have here, he just knocked out our king. Taking the lives of our comrades wasn't enough for him. And then the other guys here said, wait, he's not acting like he did before. He seems to be fully in control at last. Then Broly says, please get your king to safety. When all this is over, I'll accept my punishment. All right, cool. Next page. And they're just, the Saiyans are just looking around. They're like, And kind of like, almost like, okay, I guess. What are you waiting for? Do as he says. I believe this is Rhubarb. This is Admiral Rhubarb here, the sumo-looking dude. And then you have a great shot of Broly on the bottom here.
Unreal. Dude,
Yeah,
that looks so good.
Looks great. All right, next page. You get a face shot of Broly now, and he says, you. And then you get a point-blank E-blast, duel out straight to Broly. Broly just looks unfazed. It looks like he's about to tank this here on the, let's see, the next page. You get a boom shot. Smoke starts clearing up on the bottom right. Duel is almost in a bit of shock. He's like, what? Like, how can this be? Next page. He starts firing looks like a bigger, it's a two-handed ki blast over his head. He fires it down. Next page here, on page 148, you have Broly looking insane. And it looks like this isn't Broly saying this. It looks like it's Dula. He's saying, what? Yeah. He seems invincible. And then you get a great shot of Broly, almost like, it looks like he's walking towards Dula now.
Through the the smoke of the blast.
The smoke, yeah, exactly. Next page, you get a cool shot on the top right. It's like an energy. It's like the aura of Broly here. You get his hand, says, "You regenerate, right?" And Dula's like, "What?" And next page, and that's how you did it. And he gets his hand and he stabs Dula straight through the chest. Yo, this was crazy.
Yo, and look at his face. Effortless.
Yeah, it didn't.
That was like butter, bro.
It didn't take much at all. Next page. That was for Chilai. Now, regenerate. That's what he's doing. He's like, yo, regenerate, boy. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna make you feel the pain, bro. And on the bottom right, he says, you filthy. You're gonna pay for it. I can assure you. That's a duel.
Oh, he's gonna torture him.
Next page here. See what you've just done? Chilai wasn't so lucky. Come on. You can't trick me forever. Next page. It looks like a Broly punch is about to hit Dula. Dula uses that, like, portal-looking thing. It ends up still hitting Dula in the face. And there's like on the bottom panel, it looks like Dula's faces towards a portal.
Yeah.
Bottom panel, it looks like I
Broly's
want
like
to say
avoiding a blast.
he's avoiding a blast. It looks like, yeah. Next page. You get a shot of all these portals, and you see Dula on the. You actually see Dula all the way on the top there, on the top part of the panel. He looks like a
And
shadowy
at the bottom.
figure. Yeah, and at the bottom, you kind of see
To
like
kind of
a mirror
express
image.
him like bouncing in and out of portals. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Really cool.
That's
I don't like Dula.
nuts.
I don't like Dula as a character at all, even as like a villain. But what I will say is this is a really cool technique, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and it looks like here Broly is just analyzing the situation. Next page, he is taking hits actually on the top right panel. Broly's taking hits,
Ooh.
and then Dula says, "No wonder." And then you kind of get someone else say, "Dula," and then he says, "Venerable heir." Right. Next page.
Another
Salaga-
donut.
And just to confirm it, on the next page, the Admirable Heir says Salaga died. It's now confirmed, so we can now confirm that Salaga is dead. So quickly before we continue here, Kizer, one thing I want to just say about Salaga as a character, someone I actually personally like the design for more than Dula, and I do appreciate that he kind of announced his defeat almost. It kind of almost like he had a sort of appreciation for how he lost, which I kind of liked, because I was like, if this is how it ended, I am content. If they continue with it, I feel like it's a bit dragged on. I'm glad that they ended it how it did. Like, I'm glad that that's how it ended. Salaga's gone. I thought his design was fantastic. I thought Poison Labo, Darkos, and Rienko did a great job on that. I think they've done a great job even with Dula. I'm just not a big fan of Dula at all, personally. And that's a
I
good
think we're
thing. That
about to
makes me want
see. Yeah, we're about to see something though.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to stop real quick because we do have the confirmation of Salaga's death here, and that's pretty big. So yeah. So Dula finally gets that confirmation. He kind of had like, I believe it was last chapter. He had like a sort of presence where something seemed off, but now he's got that confirmation of Salaga's death. All right, next page.
Yo, check out that bottom. No, but did you read the bottom?
Oh, I didn't read that at all. It says here, unleash yourself, and you got like a black, like everything else is blackened, and then you got like the white bubble saying unleash yourself. Okay, next page. You're getting like the transition of Dula getting crazier, and it looks like he has the Salaga face.
Maybe he's the same race.
Maybe he is, and he says, yeah. Next page. Broly is taking higher ground. He looks below and he says, here you are. He gets right up close to him that quickly. Says, bring it on. I couldn't have said it better myself, buddy, Dula says.
Buddy?
Next page. Dula is charging up some sort of like twin attack, like both arms attack. It's like a slicing attack almost.
Yeah.
It actually hits Broly here. It hits both of his arms. There's some
like a whip.
Yeah. But then you see a shot of Dula on the bottom panel here. Next page. What's wrong with him? The force of his blow and his precision increased tenfold. I didn't see it coming. Could it be his magic? That's Broly's inner thoughts. And then you have Dula here saying, my physical strength's far less developed than yours, but my magic can make up for this without any problem. I'm Dula the Summoner, and I'll show you what the honor of my nickname is worth.
Summoner.
And you got Broly trying to kick away some sort of like flame, like some cloudy like flame.
So he tried to kick Dula, but Dula turned to smoke.
Oh, is that what happened there?
Yeah. You can even see at the top of the
his hair.
Smoke is the hair, yeah.
Yeah, I just noticed that now. And then Broly's inner thoughts, he says, he's already gone? Next page, you got a great shot here of Dula charging up some sort of, like, I guess, I'm going to say magic because that's literally in his nickname, and he just referred to that, and he said, show me how you defend yourself against them.
Oh.
And then Broly says, these portals are huge. Wow. Next page. Yeah, and then you get a shot of Broly looking at some like demonic looking like giant ogre looking creatures.
The summoner. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and yeah, his name is Dula the Summoner, so he's probably summoning stuff possibly from the demon realm, right? Where Boo is
Probably
from.
from the Yu-Gi-Oh space. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm assuming it's something from the demon realm, right? Where Boo is from at the
That's a
moment.
good point. And maybe, yo, what if he did that and then we see Boo fly through? And that's how we get him back and connected.
So I'm down for that. Only thing is, do we know how long Boo has been there for? Because if he's only been there for like a month, I probably would say that's not gonna happen. But if he's been there for like the 3-4 months that we know from that time period, like when he entered the demon realm, was that before this interactions happened? Like, did Boo enter the demon realm and then we got the venerable heir come to Planet Sadala?
Yes.
Or did then it could be
I think
possible.
so.
Then it could be possible. Because imagine if Boo came back like 3 months later and he has like a new form or something, or he has new abilities and shit.
And then he's just gonna like train with these guys or something.
Or
I
like
don't know.
Dula the Magic versus Boo, who also has magic. Right? And
I
then
like it.
so I don't know. And then maybe Broly comes and helps Vegeta beat Amaron. Or maybe Broly goes and helps Vegeta, but you know how Vegeta's like, it's okay, just take care of the rest of the people. Broly ends up helping Kale and all them. I don't know. We'll see. All right, next
Let's
page.
see.
Broly ends up cracking some sort of like, I guess it's one of the things he has summoned. It looks like bones though of this creature. Looks crazy. He's cracking like the spine of it or something. Looks insane. And it looks like there's some like blood like being gushed out or something like that. That's pretty funny. Next page. Page 164. You get again something from Dula pushing Broly down to the ground. Yeah, it's a punch. Yeah. Next page. Yep, that's like one of his summoners. Getting ready to charge up another attack. You see some more of those summoners in the background here. Getting ready for a punch. Broly's about to take it head on. And it looks like he's doing a mouth key blast.
Yeah.
Summoners.
You smiling?
Maybe. And then you get a beam struggle on the top portal, or on the top panel here, of the summoner using the key blast, and it looks like Broly. We don't really see what Broly's using. But
They're
it
both
like,
using their mouth.
yeah, probably. And then yeah, you see Broly like charging up there in the middle. He's yelling. He's getting pissed. Next page. Broly ends up winning the key blast. Or the beam struggle, sorry.
Yeah.
And yeah, his head's like completely decapitated here. It's weird because the patterning of like the flesh looks like it's like like it's like Namekian in the sense of like it can regenerate, like Cell had it, like Namekians. So I wonder if that's what's gonna happen here. Broly on the bottom right panel looks frustrated, and you kind of get like the one part of his eye has his pupil, the other eye is almost fading out.
Yeah, and look at his arm.
Yeah,
The
his
next
arms
one.
are crazy. Exactly.
Ooh.
All right. So Broly says, "This form exhausts me. I can lose control at any moment. I've to stay focused." And the summoner there looks like he's about to stomp on Broly. It seems like Broly gets out of the way, and at the bottom left panel, Dula says, "Good riddance to you." So obviously that's ignorance on Dula's part, because I don't think that's enough to take down Broly here.
No.
Next page. Broly is standing strong, holding down the stomp. And on the bottom panel, it's impossible. This guy's indestructible. And you have Dula's face, and it's like straight out of like a fucking comic.
That's so funny.
He's like, what? Next page. I believe
that's the guy that he just kicked out of fucking
Yeah,
Earth.
it seems like he just made him fly out of the atmosphere. That's crazy. But Broly's are with him. Next page. All right. You have Broly still fighting this dude. He's about to charge on the bottom panel. Almost looks like a Kamehameha, actually.
No, you know what it is?
What?
So, like you said, he went up with him, and then he just threw him down to the ground, I think. He threw him back down. That's what I think he did.
Yeah, but on the bottom panel, you see a ki blast, like a shine on his hand.
Oh, maybe he is powering something up too. Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
be,
yeah.
you know, be sick. Yo, one of my favorite ki blasts ever. Hot take is the Z Broly where he would just like grab the green one and just toss it like it was like
Really?
dude, I loved it. It just
I hated that.
it was like I just loved it, dude. To me, it's so and like when he did like the ki blast thing, it was like condensed and then it would like get
Yeah,
bigger.
yeah.
I loved it. I was a big fan of that actually. All right.
Yeah, yeah. Like I liked it when it looked like it was condensing and shit. That was cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Next page. Broly's charging towards him. The summoner thing looks crazy, by the way. And yeah, Broly's getting towards him. The thing that Dula has summoned, it looks like he's charging up a puncher. And Broly is charging head on. Next page, get a great shot of Broly dodging the punch. You're the last one. And he's climbing up his arm. He's going for the kick on the bottom panel there. A side kick. Gets his head. Another decapitation. Broly's full of blood on the bottom right panel. And his inner thoughts is, I've got to finish this quick. Where is he? Obviously referring to Dula. Alright. Next page. Behind you, imbecile. I summoned the mothership. And on the bottom right panel, you have Broly charging up a ki blast.
Bless you.
Saying, thank you. Saying it's useless. Okay. I can never just sneeze once. It has to be like 2-3 times. It's never just one time. All right. Next page, page 176. You get a funny panel of Dula just like dodging it barely, and he's like he has a very concerned look, and he's like the mothership as Broly completely annihilates it. On the bottom panel, Broly looks insane. He actually just reminded me a lot of Z Broly here.
Okay, so hold on before you move forward.
Sure.
Okay, so if you can see my screen, we're gonna go back because I want to show something to queue up properly what we're about to see.
Okay.
So on the bottom left, if you've noticed, they put emphasis on his arm bulging again, and look at his eye. He's lost his pupil. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think just to queue up the next, because what you were saying there, it looks like he's about to go magma Broly again. Like he's about to lose his shit again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen here. All right. Next page. Dula ends up putting a portal, gets an uppercut on Broly, right in the bullseye. Broly starts covering his eye and says, no. Dula says, damn it, it didn't last long. All right, next page. Broly says, you all came here just to hurt me and my friends. I'll never be able to forgive you, and now you can no longer escape. Dula points at Broly and says, I'm just a pawn on the chessboard, my dear. But don't worry. I take on responsibility for everything I do. Yeah, I'm stuck here. Too bad for you. All right. Next page, you have Dula almost like looking back, and he says, "Venerable heir," and he can see. I'm assuming for probably one of his magic abilities. He can see the fight with Vegeta and Venerable Heir. Quickly, before we continue here, it's looking like it's a stalemate, honestly.
Yeah. It's looking pretty even here.
Yeah, I'm assuming since Venerable Heir isn't a real quote-unquote God of Destruction, I want to give his credit because he was announced the God of Destruction because he was good enough to be that, of course. They saw potential in it. But it looks like Evo Vegeta is at least giving him a fight. So that's really interesting. because we've said if Vegeta's gonna get a new transformation, it could only, if it's canon, it could only really be Ultra Instinct that's above Evo, or it would be something completely different. And if he's doing a stalemate and he ends up winning, maybe he doesn't even get a full-on new transformation. He just ends up winning, right? So we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Dula ends up not saying much at all after seeing that.
Is it a grin?
It looks like I don't know if it's a grin, but it almost still looks like he's confident enough that Venerable Air will get it done.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm getting here.
Oh wait, hold on. Do you also see the writing? No.
Is that no? Do you think that's no? Or do you think that's just like a Z? No, I think it's no. Yeah, it's probably no.
Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe. Okay.
All right, next page.
Next page.
Whoa. I'm sorry, but I've made my choice. And you get like a full-on transformation of Dula, and he looks creepy as shit. He's got like, it looks like more eyes on his like forehead, almost.
No, I think they're like lights.
Yeah, it looks creepy as shit though.
Yo, he's gonna look sick now.
Yeah, and he's got like this electricity, almost like a Super Saiyan 2. Interesting. Next page.
Yo, next chapter.
Oh, next chapter, I mean, yeah. What's interesting about this chapter? What's interesting about this chapter is that it ended like 7 pages earlier than what it showed for me. I don't know if it did that for you on the site.
Say that again.
Like on the site, it didn't show that this was the end of the chapter. If that makes any sense.
Well, on the page you can see at the bottom. I don't know what.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It's just interesting because it didn't really show that on the right side.
Okay.
But yeah, that was a pretty good chapter. It was pretty like tame for the most part. I do know that it's definitely gonna lead to something bigger. Of course, I mean you're gonna have like these setup chapters. I get that, and I'm not gonna fault any writer for doing something like that. So I do appreciate that because it is now gonna set up this final form of Dula, it looks like, against Broly. So I'm actually really excited for next week now for that. What I will say I really liked about this chapter though is that it confirmed Salaga's death for one. Two, it looks like Broly is now in full control, even though we had like that non-pupil side of him. It still kind of looked like he was still in control of the next chapter after that. So I think it's like us understanding that he can kind of get into that moment still, and still control it, because he on the last chapter basically threw away his quote unquote berserk side.
Yeah, so one thing I want to point out here on page 177, you see him saying in the bottom right corner, no. And you see Broly is literally hitting himself, like snapping himself out of it. So, yeah, definitely, like, that's another thing that this chapter had value in, was, like, expressing how, yeah, he doesn't just, like, not go berserk now. Like, it's gonna be something where we'll probably see it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's able to control himself, and honestly, that's how I hope they tackle it in the canon series as well. That, like, yeah, there are gonna be times when you tweak Broly a certain way because you hurt someone he cares about, or you did something to impact him enough to where he loses his shit, because that side of Broly is always fun.
Exactly. 100%.
But what a look to this next chapter, dude.
For sure, yeah. The next chapter is called Jewel of the Summoner, and we're getting a little bit of Gohan here. And we're going to get an update here on the bottom left. I'll just read real quick. It says, in Universe 11, Gohan appears to be performing an awakening ritual similar to the one he underwent several years ago. However, this one seems markedly more introspective and conscientious than the previous one. Will Gohan emerge completely transformed from this experience? So what they're referring to beforehand is the one that they did with the old Kai back during the Buu saga, of course.
Mystic, of course.
Yeah, the mystic form. So I'm wondering what we're getting here. What's this new Gohan thing? And we do see the Kai on the right side, which is cool. So we're getting his design here. So what I think is gonna happen is after this is what I think is going to happen now because they're doing these update things. We're not going back to them until the war starts. I genuinely believe we're not going back to them until the war starts, and that after Vegeta beats the Venerable Heir, we will get a time jump for when the war starts.
Okay, so here's what I think. I think that I could see it going in a direction that you carved out, but instead I'd say, like, after Vegeta beats Amron, it's gonna straight up be the battle,
You think
or
they're just going to
something
leave
like
early
that.
or something?
Well, I mean, it's not like the Grand Priest is like having a cup of tea. Like, he's holding by his fingernails to keep this all encapsulated, right? So, um, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like, no, sorry, or like something happens. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe Salaga isn't dead and he's gonna pop over there and whop the Grand Priest or something. Who knows? Who knows?
Hmm.
And it
Or
was
say,
just a tactic to get this guy, Dula, to get to his next
I
form.
just think that in a writing perspective, I think it would just feel a bit too convenient
Yeah.
if just after the fight the war begins. But I'm fully down with it if it's just like a bit after it. Like this fight was kind of like the catalyst of what's gonna lead to next. I'm all down for that. Either
Yeah.
that or what I was saying earlier, like maybe we get like a 3 month time jump and we get to like that period which I've been calling for a long time, is where I think that the war will start earlier than two. I genuinely believe it will not be 2 years. I do. Because I
Yeah.
don't think why they would show the Grand Priest holding on. Like he's literally sitting on a chair, struggling to keep everybody frozen. And that is arguably the craziest thing I have seen. Obviously, it's fan made, but regardless, it definitely feels like something the Grand Priest can do, and even in the canon realm because he is the Grand Priest. So I kind of view it in that perspective, where it's like this dude has froze all the angels and the Grand Priestess, and I don't expect him to last two years, and I don't fault him for it either, because it's like if he can't last 2 years, I'm like, all right. I mean, like, yeah, but you're still able to do it. He's already been able to do it for 8 months. That's already insane to me.
Okay.
So
So here's the thing. So then, what if instead, because it does feel like this whole Amron thing's gonna wrap like real soon. And actually, we got some confirmation from that in the chat last time
yeah,
that it's coming to an end. So if the timeline that you've put out there is what's going to happen, I don't think they do a time jump. I think we get like maybe one more little mini arc, and it's going to be around maybe Boo or around Gohan or around any of these guys and some other threat. But I think we will leave the Saiyans. I don't think we're gonna keep following them for the duration of the filler stuff.
I see. I think if we're gonna get anyone, it will be something like Hit Frost, just because we didn't get an update from them. We're getting updates from Gohan. We're getting updates from Piccolo. We're getting updates from Krillin and Yamcha and Tien. So I think the ones that we're getting updates on, we'll not go back to until the war has started. Exactly the same thing as Goten and Trunks. I don't think we're going back to Go. I genuinely don't believe we'll go back to any of these people until the war has started, and the writers, being Rinko, Poison Labo, they're gonna really showcase what they've learned in the last, however, when the war starts, um, to us during that time. And I think it's gonna give us like that suspense, and we're gonna really understand what kind of things they're gonna be able to do. Because I feel like we're gonna get fights too, where it's gonna be like the trio of danger, like the three wolves, and Yamcha, Tien, Krillin, all six of them fight like one guy, and it's gonna be a really strong dude at some point too. And I think it's gonna
Yeah.
be great. I think we're gonna get like a Piccolo, getting a big like an orange Piccolo equivalent
Yeah.
transformation, where he's really throwing it down with like a Jiren-esque character. So not a god of destruction, but probably the strong, like an Amaron-ish equivalent, of a universe. That would be really cool too. So I think to have all of these in play, because the issue I'm gonna have when this war starts is how how are these matchups factored in? Because we have been told that the angels are part of this fight and the god of destructions.
Everybody.
So, but we also know that big important characters, and I mean no disrespect to the side characters like Krillin and stuff too, but like the bigger characters like especially Vegeta and Gohan and Piccolo. I want to give Piccolo um his
Flowers.
recognition too, his flowers too. Those three especially, I see them, especially Vegeta and Gohan, maybe fighting a god of destruction. And
Yeah. Gonna
I
have
don't,
to. Oh,
yeah,
100%.
and but
No,
I
dude.
don't see
They
that.
no, listen. You're wrong. Go Vegeta and Gohan are not fighting gods of destruction, dude. They are fighting the angels. They are not fighting like they have to be. They have to be.
I don't think so
I
because
I think I think you're gonna get Piccolo going up against gods of destruction. I really do.
the reason is, and this is where I was getting to. The angels are fighting though, so who are the angels gonna fight if you know what I mean? Like Whis is gonna fight. Like I don't
But
think you're
people
understanding.
are gonna go down.
Yeah, but Vegeta and Gohan are more likely to go down first than Whis is.
No, okay, but my point is angels are going to fight angels and I don't think it's an even number, but let's say they start going and beating us because it seems like they're all in like even stronger. So maybe like there's going to be situations where one angel beats another angel, obviously from the opposing side beats ours, and then shit, Gohan's in the vicinity, and
Yeah,
now it's like who's gonna do it? It's got to be Gohan. Time to pull up the sleeves and see what you can do against an angel, right? So I could see that kind of stuff playing out. It would be even fun to see like I don't think it's possible, but if you had like a character where you would never think that there'd ever be a chance of them beating it might have to be like more of a god of destruction like we're talking than rather than an angel, but
hmm,
like let's say Krillin, all of a sudden he's there, he's already bruised and battered and he's had to go through so much, and now you have this angel who's kind of lined up in his path, and then it's like all right, well, let's see what Krillin, like you got to find something, you got to find another level here, like of
and
intensity of whatever, what do you got to do?
one of my predictions too is that like we know in canon territory, Beerus is portrayed to be the strongest out of all the gods of destructions that we know of. And the reason why he's portrayed to be that way is because of that manga chapter that we got where he was like dodging basically all of the gods of destruction's attacks
Yeah.
until the point where he ended up getting caught. But it's almost like I would expect that. I mean, right? Like I don't expect him to beat 10, 11 other gods of destruction. I'm sorry, like I just don't. But the fact that it was portrayed that way, where it's like it's 10 or 11 against one, fuck beers, all that shit, it comes with a lot of jealousy. It comes with a lot of hatred, and I feel like when people get that, it's usually when people are necessarily more successful than you, stronger than you, in especially in a comic or manga setting. So I feel like Beerus is portrayed to be the strongest, and I I think I'm gonna be right on this prediction, but I genuinely think that Champa will be in the back seat of a fight against probably like an angel, and Beerus will come and save Champa, and both of them will tag team an angel together, and it'll be like the hardest thing they've ever done in their life because we do know that Whis basically one shot Beerus when Beerus like Reese can do whatever the fuck he wants. You could put Beerus on a leash if you wanted to, and Whis was sweating when he heard about all this shit going on in the first two chapters of what was happening. So I'm not only worried about Beerus' sake and Shampa's sake because you can say whatever about Champa, but I mean I'm a big fan of like like comic relief characters, and I thought Champa's even Champa in canon territory. I thought he was a very funny character. At least he had like that different side that he felt like a Beerus, but in a very like different outgoing way.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like if Whis is very no, I wouldn't say Whis is scared, but he had like a he was definitely nervous. And you could be nervous and still be confident in winning a fight. I just think Whis is nervous because this is more than just Whis being able to beat a different angel. It's more like this is an all-out war now. This is more than just I could probably beat this guy. It's more like my father's involved, my mother's now involved. This universe I haven't seen in millions of years is back. Like there's a vengeance, and when people are on a vengeance or in a revenge, they tend to get a lot stronger. So I do think there's like that.
There's
So
like revenge is a heck of a driver.
yeah, it is. So I think that's also why Whis is a bit nervous because I think there's a misconception. I think people when they saw that panel where he was like sweating a little bit, that doesn't like I remember that scene where Goku, where obviously Goku wasn't chained up yet. He was like, Whis, I've never seen you this way. I don't necessarily think Whis was scared that these people were necessarily stronger than Whis. I just think it was more of the sense of like, this is bad. This is just bad overall, because, you know, and we know that the first 12 universes they have their fighters, right? We're pretty strong as a universe, but it's gonna be tough because like we were talking earlier, you even said Orange Piccolo, or not even Orange Piccolo, but just Piccolo with maybe a new transformation, might have to fight a God of Destruction. But where does that leave people like Hit? Because we know that Hit before the Orange Piccolo or whatever the new Piccolo form is way stronger than Piccolo, way stronger than Vegeta before Vegeta gets. See, that's another thing. Like, I don't even know if Evo Vegeta is stronger than Hit because if Evo Vegeta can't hit, I mean, I guess I would say maybe, yeah, just because he beat Toppo, but also Hit did a good job against Jiren, and I'd say Jiren beats. I'd probably say Hit is still stronger than Evo Vegeta. Actually, I don't know if that's a hot take, but I'd
I
still
don't think
say
so. No.
he still beat Super Saiyan. No, yeah, you're probably right because Evo is definitely stronger than the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku during that time, not tournament power time, but during that tournament, that university circuit.
Right.
So that
Right.
makes sense. But even still, like Hit's getting stronger, Jiren's getting stronger, and people want to sleep. I know you don't like Topo Kaiser, but Topo is still no slouch. Like we could talk shit all we want about Topo. He's no slouch. And another person still people don't talk about much, even in canon territory. Dispo is also no slouch. Like he
Yo,
he
and
isn't.
he just found out that he's not strong enough and
Yeah.
he's not fast enough. So we're about to see like what does that mean for his next step? How is he going to, if not literally evolve, like skill set or strength wise level up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why
Uh,
I'm like really interested in this because where do we go from here? There's so much. You know what I
Man,
mean?
and I think the fun thing is we've been in such a catch up mode,
Yeah.
right? And we're about to get, I mean, we're inching now towards the end here, or we're real close to it. And we're about to get to a point where we're more so like, what do we think's coming? And I'm really excited for that because
Mm.
we established so much within this like you know weekly, sometimes two a week
Yeah.
schedule, right? And so like a lot of people have had to like wait, and maybe they were here for the beginning or they jumped in earlier. We've just like binged it basically, and so now everything's fresh, and it's like we're gonna get to that last chapter. It sounds like out comes the last one for a couple months. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, it looks like it's now going to be another 5-6 weeks at this point, maybe seven.
we
Yeah,
yeah,
I think they just released it when we did chapter 24 last week. So
and now we're gonna get a chance to properly be like, here's where we are. What do we think's gonna happen? And
exactly.
we get to play fan fiction with the fan fiction. Basically, it can go in any direction because we're playing by their rules,
Yeah.
and that's a lot of fun. And I'm stoked to do that. So definitely keep an eye out for probably a couple things around Kakume, even after we're caught up. Obviously, whenever there's a chapter, we will react to it. I think that's something that Sky's made very clear in the past as
Hmm.
well. But also look for, prediction episodes. Look for
Oh, actually, I was
an
thinking too.
interview.
Yeah, I was also thinking one day, like on a Thursday, we wouldn't do it on a fan podcast episode, but it'd be cool to do like top 10 strongest because we did do that for the main series. So it'd be cool to see like top 10 strongest currently in Kakume. I would like to do that probably once we catch up, just to see like top 10 strongest before the war, that what we've seen, and
I
then
like it.
see how that changes throughout the war. Because right now we might say like from who we know, Vegeta might be. If Vegeta ends up beating Amron, we might have Vegeta first or second because I'd probably still put Broly first, but we don't know. We don't know, right? Um, Vegeta Broly first, but imagine like it ends up being like Gohan is first, right? We don't know, but like you also have Beerus, you have the Angels as well, so there's so much more that we can do with that. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for like ranking stuff too, because that will be fun and it's fan made, so like it could go anywhere in a matter of like 3 to 4 months
Yes,
because there's that
100%.
yeah. So we don't know how that'll shake up.
They wished on the Dragon Balls for Krillin to be a Saiyan, and now he's a Super Saiyan God Blue, but it's just his eyebrows.
I remember you talking about that the other day actually in chat. That was funny.
Yo, why not? Let's do it.
You're down for that, eh?
Oh yeah. We also got a couple people down for some shit in the comments. Lil Trey says there's a lot that one angel, or sorry, there's also that one angel that hates Whis. I wonder what happened between them. We're gonna get that. There's a lot of loops. They're probably going back and like asking themselves, or maybe they did a good job of noting it along the way. But what are the loops we got to close? Is that something that maybe I could see it where we don't find out about that until the battle, and Whis is fighting the guy. He's fighting that angel, and that's where we get the context through the dialogue in that fight. That's probably where they're gonna do it. They've definitely queued up the fight to happen. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out. We also have General El Quack. Priest versus the Mummy Angel. I think I'm ready for that. That Mummy Angel, I mean, what is that even going to look like, dude? Like, I feel like the combat is going to look nuts around that guy.
What the mom angel, the grand priestess? Yeah.
No, is that mommy? I thought it was mummy. The mummy, god of destruction or whatever. Okay, so never mind. So the mommy angel, dude, that's gonna be hard, bro.
But that begs
That's
the
gonna be
question,
nuts.
I feel like the fights already have been so fucking insane.
Hmm.
How do you have two angels fight on that? Like how? Like what happens? Like
You increase the scale. When you the really good thing that a couple movies that were widely you look at how they were received. Some people love, some people hate. You look at the first Godzilla that came out from the reboots, right? What striked everybody was how they demonstrated scale. We would always see Godzilla from these high up perspectives, but then all of a sudden we had these shots where you have a person in the office building, and then you have like the shoulder blade of Godzilla walking through. Now, and of course with the effects that we have today, but like it was like, oh, like contextualizing the scale. Another movie that was 50-50 received, Man of Steel. I actually really liked Man of Steel because
that's the
for the
Superman movie, right?
that's a Superman movie.
Is that
You
the
can say
Henry
what
Cavill one or no?
Henry Cavill. For me personally, I know this is a hot take, but I think Henry Cavill's probably my favorite Superman.
I don't think that's a hot take though. I've heard that from many people.
Really? Okay, interesting. I thought Man of Steel was a really, really good movie. You can say what you want about Batman versus Superman. You can say what you want about Justice League, but Man of Steel I thought was really good. And I think one thing that they did really well to tie this in is just demonstrating the power, like making it feel like in like having him punch somebody through a building, but you be right there for that to happen, and for the pacing to be like quick and impactful, and like in a movie theater, it was like the oomph factor was nuts.
Yeah.
And it just like finding a way to do that, of course, on page, like that's what these people do. And I think they're gonna find a way to increase the scale, increase the intensity, or the impact of these two powerhouses going at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you either go that route or you go like I know this might sound boring, but because the angels are so strong, maybe they draw it in a simplistic fashion. where they are so
Yeah.
fast that they are showing it to us in a very simplistic way, where it's very like hand on hand, and then they will use some sort of spell, but it looks very slow motion esque. But it's not slow
Yes.
motion; it's just how the angels themselves view it, instead of the
Yes.
whole exaggeration where it's like a fucking like Goku Black like scythe energy fucking thing that the angel does, and it cracks like four universes. It's like I'd rather it not do that, obviously, just because there's what 24, 25 ish angels involved in this. How does that not destroy the multiverses? Like how? How does it not? These are the same beings who rewind time. Like when Whis fights someone and let's say he gets hit once, is he gonna rewind 2 minutes? How does that work with every other fight? Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like how are they writing this in? Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of and this is hard to write because there's a lot of plot holes that will come into this because this person 2 minute skip, person 2 minute skip, this person two, and that's also why I'm not a big fan of Resurrection of F because I just don't think it was well
Yeah.
written. So
Yeah. Ever since we started doing this show, like initially I actually didn't have negative feelings towards the film itself. I don't love the way it was in the show. The animation during the filler stuff was just too poor. I think it was too poor. But the film itself, I enjoyed initially. And then ever since that point on this show, having conversations, seeing your perspective, and like very quickly being like, oh, yeah, like it that was so dirty.
yeah,
Like it was dirtier than it felt the first time I saw it. It was like, oh, like that's annoying. Goku, of course, getting the win, but like no, this like against Frieza and the way it was going down, like you should have given that. That was a flop. I'm sorry, whoever wrote the story on that. If it was Toriyama, I don't know, but like that was rough.
yeah. Res F is probably the lowest point of Dragon Ball ever.
Yeah,
Personally to me, I think it's actually I'm not gonna lie to you. I know Toriyama didn't do GT. I genuinely think Res of F is worse than anything GT has produced other than the first arc. The first arc we
yeah,
don't even count because that first arc is like a 0 out of 10 for me. When it could have actually been something special, it could have been like a homage to like OG Dragon Ball with the adventure stuff, but they completely just made it so boring and such like unwelcoming characters. Like I'm sorry, the new version of Trunks was awful. Only Pan and Guru were like the only cool characters. Even Goku wasn't even that amusing in the first arc. I think Goku gets a lot more likable in his kid form after it gets like to the baby arc. I think that's a lot better.
agreed. Yeah.
But yeah, like the way they're gonna write these angels is very intriguing to me. I know Gerald here says, "What would happen if the Xenos found out about all of this too?" That's another thing. That's like
That's a really good
the
question. Yeah.
Xenos are almost like an anomaly because the Xeno guards told the Grand Priest, we will not tell Zeno." I
Oh
remember that scene, and that
yeah.
was very interesting. And if you guys have been in our Discord and been doing our rankings throughout like the year, and well, we've been doing it about 5, 6 months now. We appreciate in the rankings Xenoguards as being strong deities of some sort because they guard Zeno. And I know Zeno is strong, but Zeno doesn't want to have to lift a finger if they don't have to. So why would they have guards to begin with? I think these Zeno guards are something crazy. I think they are really strong. So if they're part of this too, like imagine that. Like imagine like when there's like shows where they there aren't people who necessarily fight. We think they're strong. Okay, we'll put it this way. I'll give you a good example. So in Battle of Gods, we don't see Whis fight the whole movie. We think Beerus is and we know Beerus is insanely strong. He one shot Super Saiyan 3 Goku, which we knew Super Saiyan 3 Goku could have beat Fat Boo, which is another reason why we did not like the Boo arc because it's like Goku just turned Super Saiyan 3 and beat Boo now before he transformed into what he was then, like when he turned Super Boo. And
Boy, he doesn't know that that's gonna happen though.
no,
Like
he,
he
he
thinks that Boo is just the threat. Boo is Boo. Like he doesn't know that we're gonna get Super Boo and that we're gonna get
no, but
like
no,
him
but he
absorbing all these people,
yeah,
and
but
then
that
all of
doesn't
a sudden Super Saiyan 3 can't cover it.
no, but that doesn't matter if he just beats Super Saiyan 3 at that. at that point in time because he was toying. People forget this. Super Saiyan 3 Goku was toying around with Fat Boo.
I
Fat Boo had
know.
no chance at all.
But he
Nothing
knew
happens
that
because
a fusion with the boys would be strong enough to beat Fat Boo.
yes, but why did it lead to that point? Because Goku didn't finish the job. He should have just won then and there. He could have ended it. He could have killed Bobbity too, by the way. If he wanted to.
Right. But
I get it.
his explanation was that he wasn't going to be there forever and that he wanted the boys to take this one on because he felt that they could. He doesn't know that what's about to unfolds with Majin Buu.
Yeah, but
Who could have known that was going to
I,
happen?
I still think it's flawed because at the same time, it's not like Goku couldn't come back eventually again for 24 hours and show the boys how to do a fusion, and just to know it at some point in time. Like I don't see that as like he took too much of a risk. Like shouldn't Goku as a character learn after the Go or after the Cell arc, after giving a sense of being to Cell, and after saying he was wrong, literally verbatim saying I shouldn't have done that after Cell was about to win, um, learn from
When
his
is that
mistakes.
when like Piccolo is like leaning into him?
Yeah, dude, Piccolo's
That
giving it to
scene's
him.
so good,
It's
dude.
good. It's great. It's great. Yeah,
Oh, that scene.
I love that
Do
scene.
you know what your son's thinking right now? He's thinking, why is my father watching me die? It was like, bro, as a young kid, that line chills, dude. Chills. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. No worries. So I just feel like things like that are what hurt the like some arcs if it goes that way for Kakume. Because like for example, like I was saying in the Buu arc, like Super Saiyan 3 Goku could have had like Vegeta doesn't need to sacrifice himself. Gohan didn't actually die, so it's like whatever. He just got flown, went to Bambi's forest. We've talked about that multiple times. Um, and other people, yeah, they just didn't need to die. So, and then yeah, we get the whole Gohan comes back, tries to be Super Buu, ends up doing the same shit he did against Cell, overestimating his opponents, or sorry, underestimating his opponents. And yeah, that's I think Buu arc is definitely where I just Gohan was not my favorite character anymore. He just couldn't be growing up. But yeah, I just hope they go the right route for Kakume with these angels and how they approach these fights because there's just too much things in hand, and if they don't execute it right, and I know it's hard to do, and that's why I'm saying that, but if they, I think if they do it in a very simplistic way, it almost might be better because again, if an angel is fighting the same way as Beerus and Goku does, that's not realistic. Because if two angels are fighting, okay, we'll put it this way: when Goku and Beerus were fighting, Jiren felt the fight in Universe 11. So when two angels fight, what is happening? like what like multiple galaxies are feeling it. Like, but we're not going to multi-galaxy. We're just staying in our one galaxy. So like what? And we know that because that
Universe.
one universe. Yeah, and that's what we're doing. Well, not universe, galaxy, because galaxy has
No.
multiple. What do you mean?
No.
There's
Uh,
multiple universes. Universe 6, Universe 7, Universe 11.
yeah, but galaxies are just like we're in the Milky Way galaxy. We're a
Exactly.
solar system in the Milky Way galaxy. But like I would assume that another universe would be far more far away than something that's in your
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah.
universe.
Oh, I get
Yeah,
what you're
yeah, yeah.
saying, yeah. But like then that actually strengthens what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
if if he's if they're feel if, like if Jiren is feeling Goku versus Beerus in a completely different place, in a different universe, what are two angels like? What to me it's just crazy. I think they went a bit too overboard with how Goku and Beerus's fight went, in terms of everybody else can feel it in different universes. Because now, what am I supposed to expect from two angels? Like I have to expect something insane, or else it's like, like well, this is underwhelming in the sense of how strong they are, or they
Well,
do it
look
the
at what
way
we
I
got
was
with
playing.
Broly too. Because Broly had the same effect
Yeah, there was like
when he lost his
atoms
mind
or
after,
some shit.
but everyone could feel it.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how it ends up being, but I do think it's they didn't write themselves in a hole. I just think the execution is definitely something they got to really think about. And I know Lone Trey last week did say they are now working on the war part or something. Their training arc is now like concluded. So that's probably what they're not. I'm not saying
No,
those
he
were the
didn't say
suggestions.
that. He said that the fight we're in right now is gonna come to an end in the last chapter that we're in, that we have. Like
Oh,
it that what is, not Salaga, not Dula, it's
Emron.
Amaron. The Amaron arc, like that whole thing is gonna end.
Oh, okay. I see. I see.
So
Okay.
we don't know what's coming next, and maybe that's why they're taking a little break, because they're trying to figure that out too.
Yeah, they want to execute it as good as possible for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, but that was a great chapter. It was again a setup chapter. I think the next chapters will definitely be a bit more on the hard hitting side. I think we'll probably have a conclusion on in this arc, or sorry, in this chapter to Dula. That's my prediction. Actually, no, I'm gonna say Dula is two more chapters. I'm gonna say it's two more chapters, and then
Ooh, Lil Trey. They told us that the war is coming.
the war arc is coming. Okay, so
Wow.
that's something to be excited about for sure.
Okay. Well, next week we will be back for an episode of the Manga Lookout, TML for short. All
Yep.
right. We'll also be back on Monday with my show, DBFP. What's the topic? Hold on. Let me tell you and Sky at the same time. It's blank, actually. How about why don't we do another hot takes episode?
Okay, I'm down for
All
that.
right. And if we don't have enough, we can find some online that are like popular.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll also run some polls, new polls and stuff like that on our socials. Try to get as much as we can. Try to get the best ones. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna do another hot takes episode for Monday.
Sounds good. I'll definitely post on our community tab on YouTube. Kizer will definitely post it on Instagram. I'll send in another announcement on the Discord if anyone else wants to add things to the hot take. I'll do that tomorrow, tomorrow morning, and yeah, we'll go from there. Even if we have like 5 or 6, then we can get some online as well to make it like a bit more. So,
Sounds good.
but yeah, guys, that's been the manga lookout. That was chapter 25. I always look at like the chapter after it. So that's chapter 25, sorry, of Dragon Ball Kakumei. That was a great one. It was a setup chapter. Um, we kind of expected it though, the setup chapter, because of how it ended. And yeah, I think we're gonna get either close to a conclusion or a conclusion of the Broly versus Dula fight, and hopefully we get the Amron versus Vegeta, because that's what I'm looking forward to, obviously as a Vegeta fan. But I even know Kaiser's looking forward to that as well. So see you guys
For
then.
sure.
We'll see you next week on Monday for the Dragon Ball Fan Podcast.